My name is Alma Lopez. I'm the partnership manager for the Cal State University Entertainment Alliance, or the CSUEA. Thank you so much for being here today. Before we start, I'd like to kindly ask you to please put yourselves on mute during the duration of this call. For those of you who are not familiar with the CSUEA, our mission is simple: to open up real doors for CSUEA students by connecting you with the people, the programs, and the opportunities to help launch your career in entertainment. So today we're really excited to partner with the Television Academy Foundation for today's internship session, led by Nancy Robinson, who's the director of the Internship Program. This is one of the most respected programs in the industry, giving students hands-on experience, mentorship, and an insider access to all of the top studios, networks, and production companies. Before we get started, I would also like to ask you to please follow us on our social channels at the CSUEA on Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of our other channels, so that you don't miss out on any more of our incredible events and opportunities like this one. So thank you again for being here. Also, Nancy is going to do the info session, and we kindly ask you to please save your questions or just drop them in the chat. And after Nancy is done describing the program, we will have some time for Q&A. So just put those questions in the Q&A in the chat, and I will be reading them out. So let's jump right in. Nancy, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Alma.
You're welcome.
Hey, everybody. It's nice to be here. It's nice to see you all or see all your names and your cameras off. But thank you for joining. I hope some of you or a lot of you are familiar with our internship program, but if you're not, I'm glad that you're here today because we are going to be opening up our platform to begin accepting applications for summer 2026 on November 12th. So it's good that we're doing this now since we're just a week away, and I'd love to share information with you. So David, if you are ready to get us started. Um, Again, this is our 2026 summer internship session. Next slide, please. We are the Television Academy Foundation. So we are the charitable arm of the Television Academy, and it is our members who make up the voting body of the Emmy Awards, if you will. So our Television Academy members are the folks who select the Emmy nominees, ultimately the Emmy winners, and they are the same individuals who judge for our student competitions. So these are people that are helping to launch careers in the industry. And we have in our history of the foundation and my 26-year history with the internship program, we have launched careers for so many people that are out there working right now and also being nominated for Emmys and winning Emmys themselves. So we're really, really proud of our program alumni. And our new vision statement is inspiring tomorrow's Emmy winners today. So that is what our foundation does. We are here to support the next generation of industry and media leaders. Next slide, please. So again, we in the summertime, we are open to students nationwide. So this is our biggest application period. Summer opportunities are full-time for 8 weeks during the summer in Los Angeles. We are paying between $18 and $19 an hour. Currently we are open to undergrad and graduate students. So if you are graduating in June or May of 26, you are still eligible to apply for summer of 26. So don't think that, oh, you're graduating in June, you're done, you can't get an internship. Yes, you can. So please be sure to keep that in mind. I mentioned before that our applications are judged by Television Academy members. In order to be a applicant and an intern, you must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. And our deadline to apply will be January 7th at 5 p.m. And that is a hard and fast deadline. Next slide, please. So this is our list of summer 2026 categories. They may be adjusted before November 12th, so don't get too excited about every single category here, though most of them will remain. But again, the thing about our program is you can only apply to one category. So you have to decide what is it that you're really passionate about and put all of your eggs in that one basket, so to speak. So one of the things that I always mention to students is if you're in the theater department or your end goal is to be talent, that's great. We do not have a performer category. However, it's really important to understand the business side of the industry. So if you are an actor and that is your passion, think about applying for the agency or the casting internship because that will help you understand what goes on in the back end. My advice to you there, and a little side note, is do not include in your personal statement that you are wanting to be an actor at the end of the day because agents and casting directors are pretty ruthless and they really only want to bring on an intern who wants to go into their field. So they don't need to know that you want to be an actor. So that's just a little side bit of information there. But you can see that we have a lot of different production categories. Production is relatively production, but it does vary. If you're in specifically into animation, there's a different side to animation production. Commercials is different than scripted television. Documentary, obviously, is docuseries, nonfiction reality. So there are different areas, just like in development, scripted development, which includes movies for television, series, versus children's programming, which is specific for the children's audience, or unscripted, which is all of the guilty TV that most of us watch some of to see what's really happening in the real world. So again, you can only pick one of these, so you need to pick wisely. Next slide, please. So I mentioned several times our membership, and this is how our members are divided within the Television Academy. These are our national active members, which means that they are the ones who have the credits behind their name, who can vote for the Emmys and therefore can vote for our student programs. So if you are in music, chances are you're going to be in the music peer group if you're a member. Same thing with sound. So you can see sound editors are divided up. We actually have a choreography category. So these are the folks who are reviewing our internship applications by expertise. So if you're applying for editing, you have editors reviewing your application. Same thing if you are applying for writing, you have writers and producers. So you're not going to have somebody working as a director who's going to be looking at a costume design applicant. So just wanted to clarify that for everybody. Next slide, please. So our application cycle, I'm talking today specifically about summer, which again will be opening on November 12th to start accepting applications. Will be open until January 7th. And students can apply from schools all across the United States, both small schools, large schools, private schools, public schools, 2 years, 4 years, certificate programs. I want you all to know that we have a lot of Cal State applicants. We have a lot of Cal State finalists, and we also end up with a lot of Cal State interns. So please don't think that because you don't go to NYU or USC or Chapman, that you are not competitive. That is not true. So please keep that in mind. You can look at our alumni tab on our website and you will see Cal State in front of a lot of our former interns. So in spring and in fall, our internships are only open to students going to school in the greater Los Angeles area or semester in LA programs. We do offer part-time internships in spring and fall. They are also paid. Um, but again, you're not competing against the entire nation if you're looking at spring or fall. You can only intern with us once. So I definitely recommend applying for summer. That's where most of the categories are, and that is an 8-week full-time experience. The hours, the part-time hours in spring and fall add up to the same full-time hours as summer. So ultimately, you're getting the same experience. It's just whether it's full-time or part-time. And again, our category selection is a lot smaller. We typically hire 5 to 10 interns in spring and fall versus between 40 and 50 in the summertime. Next slide, please. So, how do you apply? This is what everybody always asks. So, every category requires the materials that you see here, minus the supplemental materials. So, everyone has to provide a personal statement, and this is all done through our online platform. Your personal statement is where you really get to represent you. So if you have a unique story to tell and you want to tell it, that's where you're going to grab the reader. So you want to make sure that you're not using those 600 words just to regurgitate your resume, right? What makes you stand out? Why are you so passionate about television? Keeping in mind that's who we are. We are not film, we are TV. Next, you would need your resume. And we don't expect you to have a lot of professional experience. We know your students. If you have had other internships, absolutely, you can include those. If you have a part-time job, like you're working as a barista at Starbucks or customer service at Target, or you're a nanny, or you work at a gas station, or whatever it is you're doing, there are so many transferable skills, so keep that in mind. Again, don't think that you're not competitive. Own the part-time jobs that you've had and really focus in on how the essential skill sets do transfer from opportunity to opportunity. We have added something new for 2026, which is a creative perspective statement. And that's where you will have an additional 300 words to talk about and reflect on a television show that exemplifies exceptional storytelling or production to you and its influence on your creative or professional aspirations. So that's something for you to think about. And that also gives our judges another bit of insight into who you are and your passion for television, the way you think about it, the way you view it, the way you see it in the future. We do require proof of enrollment. This can come as simple as a document from the registrar's office listing that you are currently a student and how many units you're taking. We are not going to be requesting that you submit full transcripts. If you choose to, that's fine too. Unofficial copies will be accepted, but we do require that you are providing us with proof of enrollment and how many units you are currently taking. The supplemental materials that we ask for, those are by individual category. So if you're applying to costume design, you would need a portfolio. Same thing with art direction. If you apply to directing or cinematography, you're going to need a short reel. Writing, you're going to need to create a short scene. So just pay close attention to where we ask for additional materials. Do not provide them if we don't ask for them. And then finally, if you are selected as a finalist, that is when you will be required to submit a letter of recommendation from somebody who knows you in a supervisory capacity. So you will need to start thinking about when you apply, who would that person be? Is it a faculty person? Is it a career advisor? Is it an employer? Who is that going to be for you? And also our finalists need to provide a video link where you put yourselves on camera answering questions provided by us. You would get those in your finalist letter. Everyone answers the same questions, and that really acts as your interview video when we send along your materials to the hosting company for that particular internship. So while you are employed by the Television Academy Foundation, you would be working out in the industry. So you could be, applying for PR publicity, and I could be placing you at NBC, Universal. Ultimately, the host company decides who they want to pick as their intern from the group of finalists they receive from the initial round of judging. Next slide, please. Some special opportunities that we do have for SoCal and Central Valley students during the summer is our Getting Real Unscripted program. So we do have a unscripted development category in our main internship program, but then we also have our Getting Real Unscripted category, which students can apply specifically to that. It does count as a category, but there are opportunities here to get some experience with potentially production, post-production, development, and casting, all within the unscripted space. So these again are for students going to school in SoCal or the Central Valley, and you could be interning at one of these companies with one of these shows that might still currently be on the air. So it's a really great opportunity for those of you who do want to get into unscripted television, keeping in mind that there are incredible job opportunities there, and a lot of them mirror what's going on in scripted television. So don't discount unscripted as a career pathway. Next slide, please. We also offer our Dick Wolf Foster Youth Internship. These are, we have 3 internships during the summertime. They are all in production. So if you have spent any time in the foster youth system at any point in your academic life, you can apply specifically to the Dick Wolf Foster Youth Internship track, as long as you go to school in the greater Los Angeles County. Next slide, please. If you make finalist, you have the opportunity to apply for the Bob Bennett Future Leaders Program. And this is for 10 students who are basically exemplify what innovation and leadership look like at the current phase of their academic and personal careers, if you will. So 10 interns will be selected as Bob Bennett Future Leaders, and they will receive additional financial assistance as well as additional professional development and leadership training. So if you are thinking you might want to apply for something like that, take a look at our website and you can see what's required in order to apply for the Bob Bennett Future Leaders Program. Next slide, please. You can take a look here at just some testimonials from some of our former interns. We do really keep in touch with our group as long as they're willing, or as much as they're willing to stay in touch with us. So after our interns go through our program, we want to know what they're doing. We want to continue to provide professional development and networking opportunities for them. At the end of the internship program, students receive a free 1-year academic membership with the Academy, which means that you would receive Emmy Magazine, you would be invited to apply for the lottery for events that we have here on campus and off campus, not the Emmys, unfortunately. That isn't some way, we don't get to just go and, well, we get to go as staff, but our members, we obviously have to purchase tickets. But at any rate, you can see here that our internship program has been really influential in helping to start a lot of people's careers and connecting them with the correct people, and also just giving them, firsthand experience and insider information on the craft that they want to go into. Next slide, please. Here's just a few of our notable alumni. So you can see some of the shows these folks have worked on. All but, let's see, Gina and Craig are the only 2 folks who did not sit across my desk from me at some point when they were starting out as an intern. Everyone else has come through the program since I've been here, and they were all nervous. I mean, you're taking a risk. You've gotten to this position where you're now going to be out there working, and now we could not be more proud of our alum. We've got Emmy-winning alum, we've got Emmy-nominated alum, we've got alum that are running networks and studios, and this could be you guys someday. Next slide, please. Just a few tips here. I already mentioned at the top of the presentation about those of you who want to be actors, to look at casting and agency as a category. Also, please do not include any photos or references on your resumes. Make sure that you double check your spelling, grammar, and punctuation. You should be thinking now who you would want to write that letter of recommendation for you should you become a finalist, because we give you a 2-week turnaround in February once you are notified. I think it's going to be late February, early March that you're notified as a finalist. You'll only have 2 weeks to turn around a letter and your interview video. So really be thinking about putting into place who that ask might be. And again, no late materials will be accepted whatsoever. Everything has to come through our application portal. Next slide, please. Timeline, November 12th to January 7th, accepting applications. We know that it's the holidays and finals and all of that stuff. So you definitely want to get on this sooner rather than later once we launch. Mid-March, all notifications will be sent via email. So that's where you will be notified whether you made finalist or did not make finalist. At that time, finalists can apply for the Bob Bennett Future Leaders Program. We start our notifications late March, early April, and our summer internships will run June 15th through August 7th. We do invite our interns to come to the Academy once a week on Wednesday evenings for summer professional development, where that's a chance for all of you to be together as a group, but also to learn more about what's happening in the industry, to hear from our alumni who are now working and how they got there, maybe talking about something that's a hot topic in the industry at the time. So while it's not required, we highly encourage you to come to our professional development sessions because that's another great opportunity for networking. Next slide, please. So this is us right here. If you have any more questions, you can email us at internsupport@televisionacademy.com. We are in the process of updating our website for our November 12th launch. So what you might see right now could be tweaked a tiny bit. So until November 12th, just make sure that you don't start your application. You can't start your application yet, but just on November 12th, when we launch, all of the materials will be updated. So I think we can stop sharing screen now, and I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.
Okay, Nancy, I'm going to read through some of the questions that were dropped in the chat. So if anybody didn't get a chance to drop their question and has a question, please drop it in the chat. So first question, are spring applications still open?
We finished judging. We are in the finalists phase right now. So the finalists are sending in their materials. So all spring finalists have been notified, non-finalists have been notified, but it is too late to apply for spring.
Okay. How much experience is needed to apply for the program? Can we include film clubs and projects?
Absolutely, you can include that on your resume. I wouldn't be including any projects or any additional materials that we're not looking for. But again, this is an internship. This is not a job where you're expected to be an expert. So if you don't know everything about what's, the current writing, what a script structure looks like, learn about that. If you're applying for, learn about it in advance. If you're applying for a development internship, read about coverage and what does that mean? You'll be doing a lot of script coverage. So get familiar with that. Get familiar with some of the terminologies in the specific category that you might be going for. But we're not looking for you to be an expert. You need to know something about what you're applying for, but we don't expect you to be, at the top of your game.
I have a good tip for all of you here, especially if, everybody hopefully lives in the LA area. The Writers Guild West has a library of every single script, and anybody can go into the library at any time. And I believe that you can even check them out. It's free. So that could be a nice tool if you kind of just want to see formats and kind of get the feel for it. It's a resource. They're located on Fairfax and I think near La Brea, no, like Fairfax and Third, by the Grove, but look up the WGA West Library. Okay, so how can we, does television show include animated media to write about in the statement? And is there a unit requirement?
An animated show, absolutely. It's if whether it's scripted or unscripted, it's still a television show. So yes, that counts. If that's something that is unique to you and that's the genre that you want to write to and that inspires you. And we don't require that anybody be getting course credit for an internship through us because we pay you, but we do require that you be taking at least 6 units unless you're in your final semester and about to graduate and you just don't need those 6 units. So that's all dependent.
How can we check our application status?
When you check, you can go into your application. I believe we currently have it this way where until you hit the complete button, your application is still in flux. Once you hit complete, you can't go back in and make any changes. And it's just in the queue. And once we start judging, that everybody's in the same boat, and we will notify you whether you make finalist or you don't make finalist.
Okay. Next question. I'm currently working towards a BFA in graphic design with a specialization in multimedia. Would you recommend a student with my background apply for the digital media category?
I mean, I can't recommend anybody to apply for any category, to be honest. I think that you have to go with what you're passionate about. I mean, to me, that sounds like a good fit, but the student, have to feel that that is the best place for you.
Okay. Next, is there a format you prefer the resumes to be in?
Um, that's a really good question. I think that it's not that there needs to be a specific format, but keeping it to one page if you can is always appreciated. I know that. And also, you know, resumes can be all over the place. Like your eye is in the right-hand corner and then it's in the bottom left-hand corner, and that's tiring. So you want to make sure that your resume is easy to read.
Thank you. Um, Next question says, can I get more info on the music program as well as the writing program? I'm guessing that that is going to be a conversation for for a different time because right now we're talking about the writing program, but I can connect with Nancy to see if that's something that we can set up for the future. Are you comfortable with that, Nancy?
Honestly, I think that looking at our website and reading the category description is going to give you the best idea of what that category might look like because each category has its own unique description. And I really can't tell you a lot more than what we've given you on the website because each host company is going to approach that differently. We don't have our host companies locked in until December, January, February. And because of the nature of the industry and production, we do not tell our students where the internship opportunity is going to be until they are selected as
Okay.
the intern.
Thank you, Nancy. Next question, I'm assuming it's probably the same answer. Can you discuss more on the children's television program if possible? Guess we would recommend that they check out the website.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would say just go to the website and just read that brief category description.
Okay. Are there a certain amount of roles open for each department?
Again, a very good question. We have the most number of applications in the development category. So we tend to be more development heavy during the summer and perhaps have 4 to 5 placements in development, whereby some of the categories that are more difficult to fill based on the needs of the industry and what's in production, we might only have one. So, for example, directing, there's one position for directing. I can tell you that typically there's two for editing. There could be a couple for agency, but we do only have about 45 opportunities during the summer, and we have 25 areas of the industry. So it really depends on how many applications there are in a given category and what the needs are of the industry at the time.
Okay. Next question. I'm actually one of the finalists for the spring 2026 internship. Congratulations, Michael. If I move forward in the process, how will I be placed at a company and what companies do you partner with that I could work for?
Okay, so really good question again. Um, Our host company is the individual that makes the ultimate decision on their intern. So based on who that host is going to be for that opportunity, they will get the application packets and the interview video, and then they will select who they want as their intern. They get back to me, I let the student know, we run them through a background check. And when they pass their background check, we connect them with the host company to determine, um, the start date is going to be June, I believe 17th was the date that we start our program. Some internships start a little bit later based on production again, so do pay attention to those categories. Um, but in terms of, I would need to know the category potentially, but we do as far as like the host companies that we've worked with. But in our descriptions on the website, we do put down a few companies that have hosted in that category in the past.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What makes a candidate stand out?
So again, oh, okay, wait. So I see production management is what Michael is saying. Okay. Um, for production management, we have worked with the Bachelor franchise. We've worked with a company called Reverie Content. We've worked with Warner Brothers. So we're basically across the industry, whether it's scripted or unscripted. Um, but I can't divulge right now who it's going to be for summer because I don't have that information locked in, nor can I tell you because then you might just want to apply because you want to work for that particular company. Um, so,
What
to
makes
answer
a
that question,
candidate
oh,
what makes
sorry.
a
Okay,
candidate
yeah.
stand out?
Okay, so that is the big number one question. And I would love to say that I had the best answer to that. We at the foundation have nothing to do with the selection process. So I don't even see the materials until somebody is a finalist. But I do know that the 600-word personal statement is where you need to take advantage of letting yourself really shine. So be authentic. Talk about your passion for whatever category it is that you are going for. Be humble, but be true to who you are. This is really where you get that chance to win over the reader. This is a storytelling medium. And with the addition of the creative perspective statement, where you can write that reflection about the television show, I think that will also give a window into your psyche, personality, if you will, um, to how you feel and how you view the industry. So the judges are really looking more at that than they are at your resume. I mean, sure, they want to know what you're doing, have you won any awards? Have you done anything like that? But it is that personal statement in round one that is the biggest chance for you to get to round two. And that's where that letter of recommendation comes in. If any of you have applied to our program before, you'll see that, or you might notice that in the past, we did require a letter of recommendation when you applied for round one before you made finalist. And we have found over many years that faculty unintentionally end up disqualifying a lot of their students because they don't get the letter to the student on time. So we are trying to eliminate that as much as possible and also give faculty the chance to really focus in on writing a letter truly for the individual that's asking them and not just going into AI and regurgitating out, the same kind of letter for 7 or 8 different students. So, but when you get to that finalist round, that letter of recommendation also helps you to stand out.
Okay. If I attend Cal State Long Beach but live in Orange County, would I still qualify for the program? I would assume yes, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Next question. If our major is not film related, would that lower the chances of being selected?
Not necessarily. So we also list out some desirable background requirements. And I put that loosely because, sure, we want you to have an understanding of what it is that you're getting yourself into. This isn't an internship where you just decide, I'm a bio major, but I want to learn about directing. Like, you're not going to make it that way. But if you are an engineering major or you're a psych major or whatever, and you have a real passion and love for television, talk about that in your personal statement. We've definitely had people from majors not film related, not television related, that have gotten internships. And there are other ways into the industry. Like, let's say you're really interested in accounting. There's accounting departments within the industry. That's what a lot of production management is. So, just kind of be thinking outside of the box and allow yourself to just sort of be creative in that space, if you will.
Well, thank you so much, Nancy, and also David for helping coordinate this. We definitely appreciate you sharing all this great information. Definitely apply. This is a great opportunity, and you're only going to get in by applying. So you could
Maybe
be the next,
someday
you could
you'll
be,
win one of
yeah,
these.
yeah. Thank you all for your time. Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's that you could be holding one of those in your hands any day now. So, but you got to get through the program first. So thank you everybody, and yeah, keep following us on social media for more events.
Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you all apply.